Hello, good morning. Our topic for today is about electrical safety in constructions. Electrical safety construction makes electricity the dangers. About 5 workers are electrocuted every week. Causes to a person to be a worker, workplace deaths, then takes very little electricity to cause harm. Significant risk of causing fires. Electricity, how it works. These are the functions. Electricity is the flow of energy from one place to another. It requires a source of power, usually a generating station. A flow of electrons, current travels through a conductor, travels in a closed circuit. Electrical terms, these are the electrical terms that we need to learn. Current, electrical movement, circuit, complete path of the current. Include electricity source, a conductor, and the output device or load, such as lamp, tool, or heater. Resistance, restriction to electrical flow. Conductors, substances like metals with little resistance to electricity that allow electricity to flow. Grounding, a conductive connection to the earth, which acts as a protective measure. Insulators, substances with high resistance to electricity like glass, porcelain, plastic, and dry wood that prevent electricity from getting to unwanted areas. Electrical injuries. These are the four main types of electrical injuries. Direct electrocution or death due to electrical shock, burns. Indirect falls. Electrical shock. An electrical shock is received when electrical current passes through the body. You will get an electrical shock if a part of your body completes an electrical circuit by touching a live wire and electrical ground or touching a live wire and another wire at a different voltage. Shock severity. Severity of the shock depends on the following: path of current through the body, amount of current flows through the body, duration of the shocking current through the body. Low voltage does not mean low hazard. Here the picture expresses the shock severity. Dangers of electrical shock. You have here an example also of a picture. Currents above 10 milliamperes can paralyze or freeze muscles. Currents more than 75 milliamperes can cause a rapid and effective heartbeat. Death will occur in a few minutes unless a defibrillator is used. 75 milliamperes is not much current. A small power drill uses 30 times as much. Burns, most common shock related to injury, occurs when you touch electrical wiring or equipment that is improperly used or maintained. Typically occurs on hands. Very serious injury that needs immediate attention. Force electric shock can also cause indirect injuries. Workers in elevated locations experience a shock may fall, resulting in serious injury or death. Electrical hazards and how to control them. Electrical accidents are caused by a combination of three factors: unsafe equipment and or installation. Workplaces made unsafe by the environment and unsafe work practices. Hazard exposed electrical parts, cover removed from wiring or breaker box. That is an open wiring. Control isolate electrical parts. Use guards or barriers. Replace covers. Guard live parts of electric equipment operating of 50 volts or more against accidental contact. Here an example picture serves as an example. Next, control isolate electrical parts, cabinets, boxes, and fittings. Okay, we have here the example pictures. Conductors going into them must be protected, and unused openings must be closed. Control close openings. Excuse me. Junction boxes, pole boxes, and fittings must have approved covers. Unused openings in cabinets, boxes, and fittings must be closed. No missing knockouts. Wherever the photo shows violation of these two requirements. Hazard overhead power lines, usually not insulated. Examples of equipment that can contact power lines: crane, bear ladder, scaffold, backhoe, scissors lift, wrist dump, truck bed, aluminum pent roller. Control overhead power lines. Cover the power lines example pictures. Stay at least 10 feet away. Post warning signs. Assume that lines are energized. Use wood or fiberglass ladders, not metal. Power line workers need special training and PPE. Hazard and inadequate wiring. Hazard. Wire too small for the current. Example, a portable tool with an extension cord that has a wire too small for the tool. The tool will draw more current than the cord can handle, causing overheating and a possible fire without tripping the circuit breaker. The circuit breaker could be the right size for the circuit, but not for the smaller wire extension cord. Okay, we have here the wire gauge example so that you can measure the actual size of a wire. Control use the correct wire. Wire use depends on operation, building material, electrical load, and environmental factors. Use fixed cords rather than flexible cords. Use the correct extension cord. Wire must be three-wire type and designed for hard or extra hard use. Hazard defective cords and wires. These are the common problems. Plastic or rubber covering is missing. Okay, we have heard the example. Damaged extension cords and toes. Okay, like this. Hazard damaged cords. Cords can be damaged by aging, door or window edges, staples or fastenings, vibration from adjacent materials, activity in the area. Improper use can cause shocks, burns, or fire. Control cords and wires. Insulate live wires. Check before use. Use only cords that are three-wire type. Use only cords marked for hard or extra hard usage. Use only cords, connection devices, and fittings equipped with string relief. Remove cords by pulling on the plugs, not the cords. Cords not marked for hard or extra hard use or which have been modified must be taken out of service immediately. Permissible use of flexible cords. Do not use flexible wiring where frequent inspection would be difficult or where damage would be likely. Flexible cords must not be run through holes in walls, ceilings, or floors. Run through doorways, windows, or similar openings, unless physically protected. Hidden walls, ceilings, floors, conduit, or other raceways. Have heard the example picture. Next, grounding. Grounding creates a low resistance spot from a tool to the earth to disperse unwanted current. When a short or lighting occurs, energy flows to the ground, protecting you from electrical shock, injury, and death. Hazard improper grounding. Those plugged into improperly grounded circuits may become energized. Broken wire or plug on extension cord. Some of the most frequently violated OSHE standards. A bird example. Next, control ground tools and equipment. Ground power supply systems, electrical circuits, and electrical equipment. Next, frequently inspect electrical systems to ensure path to ground is continuous. Inspect electrical equipment before use. Don't remove ground prongs from tools or extension cords. Ground exposed metal parts or equipment. Okay, like this. Next, control. Use GFCI, the ground fault circuit interrupter. Protects you from shock, detects difference in current between the black and white wires. If ground fault detected, GFCI shuts off electricity in 1/40th of a second. Use GFCIs on all 120 volt single phase 15 and 20 ampere receptacles or have an assured equipment grounding conductor program. Control assured equipment grounding conductor program. Program must be covered. All cords, sheets, receptacles not part of a building or structure. Equipment connected by a plug and cord. Program requirements include specific procedures adopted by the employer, competent person to implement the program, visual inspection for damage of equipment connected by a cord and plug. Hazard overloaded circuits. Hazards may result from too many devices plugged into a circuit, causing heated wires and possibly a fire. Damaged tools, overheating, lack of overcurrent protection, wires insulation melting, which may cause arcing and a fire in the area where the overload exists, even inside a wall. Control electrical protective devices. Automatically open circuit of excess current from overload or ground fault is detected shutting off electricity. Includes GPCIs, fuses, and circuit breakers. Fuses and circuit breakers are overcurrent devices. When too much current, fuses melt, circuit breakers strip open. Power tool requirements. Have a 3-wire cord with ground plug into a grounded receptacle or be double insulated or be powered by a low voltage isolation transformer as picture show. Next, toe safety tips. Use gloves and appropriate footwear. Store in dry place when not using. Don't use in wet, damp conditions. Keep working areas well lit. Ensure not a tripping hazard. Don't carry a tool by the cord. Don't yank the cord to disconnect it. Keep cords away from heat, oil, and sharp edges. Disconnect when not in use and when changing accessories such as blades and bits. Remove damaged tools from use. Preventing electrical hazards tools. Inspect tools before use. Use the right tool correctly. Protect your toes. Use double insulated toes. Okay, this is the double insulated tool. Temporary lights. Protect from contact and damage and don't suspend by cords unless designed to do so. Clues that electrical hazards exist. Trip circuit breakers or blown fuse. Warm toes, wires, cords, connections, or junction boxes. GFCI that shuts off a circuit. Worn or frayed insulation around wire or connection. Lockout, lockout, and tagging of circuits. Apply locks to power source after de-energizing. Tag the activated controls. Tag the energized equipment and circuits at all points where they can energize. Tags must be identify equipment or circuits being worked on. Okay, based on picture. Next, safety-related work practices. To protect workers from electrical shock, use barriers and guards to prevent passage through areas of exposed energized equipment. Pre-plan work, post hazard warnings, and use protective measures. Keep working spaces and walkways clear of cords, as shown by the picture. Next, safety-related work practices. Use special insulated tools when working on fuses, when energized terminals. Don't use worn or frayed cords and cables. Don't fasten extension cords with staples hang from nails or suspend by wire. Preventing electrical hazards planning. Plan your work with others. Plan to avoid falls. Plan to lock out and tag out equipment, remove jewelry, avoid wet conditions and overhead power lines. Avoid wet conditions. If you touch a live wire or other electrical component while standing in even a small puddle of water, you'll get a shock. Damaged installation equipment of toes can expose you to live electrical parts. Improperly grounded metal, switch plates, and ceiling lights are especially hazardous in wet conditions. Wet clothing, high humidity, and perspiration increase your chances of being electrocuted. Preventing electrical hazards. PPE. Okay. First, proper foot protection. Next, rubber insulating gloves, hoods, sleeves, matting, and blankets. Hard hat, insulated non-conductive. Preventing electrical hazards from wiring and connectors. Use test GPCIs. Check switches and insulation. Use three-prong plugs. Use extension cords only when necessary and assure in proper condition and night type for job. Use correct connectors. Training. Train employees working with electric equipment and safe work practices, including following: de-energize electric equipment before inspecting or repairing, using cords, cables, and electric tools that are in good repair, lockout slash tag out recondition and procedures. Next, use appropriate protective equipment. These are the hazards summary and protections. We have here the examples of hazards and the examples of the protective measures. We have here the summary. Okay, underweight, the electrical equipment must be, okay, the following. If you use electrical tools, you must be, yeah, the following also. Thank you. That's all.